You're wanting to create a language rich, this communication rich environment for your tiny human, and I'm here to help. So, we've got these kids that just aren't figuring it out. Other kids do. We go about our day, we're not real purposeful, we just live our lives. They figure out speech, they figure out language, and we never have to think twice. And then there's these kids who just don't. For whatever reason, they're struggling, they're a little bit behind, they're screaming more than they're using words, and we need to be more purposeful with our environment. Before we get too far into this, please know that what I'm about to tell you is how to help you upgrade your environment, but you didn't cause your child's speech delay. Because you haven't done these things yet doesn't mean that you are the problem. I promise. Some kids just don't figure it out. 10 things here, 20 things here, could be a combination of things, but we just need to support them. Okay? That's all this is. This is a no shame environment. So before we dig too far, I want you to think about your current environment. Maybe you've Googled how to help your child and you've gotten some ideas. I'm about to make this real simple. This isn't about buying expensive toys or buying the best toys. You don't even need toys, okay? This isn't about labeling your environment with flashcards. This isn't about finding the best television programs for your child. That's one of the least helpful things, actually. And it's not about playing Mozart in the background or spending 5 hours a day. None of that is required for a rich, communication, encouraging, language growing environment. None of it. Okay. If you don't know me yet, my name is Amber Jara. I'm a pediatric speech therapist. I help parents help their child in their own home grow their language skills. I've got my own late talkers, so I've been able to combine what I learned in school and my private practice and my own kids, and I've really made this simple. So I want you to think about your current environment. I'm going to make a list of things. Like I said, this isn't your fault. You didn't cause this delay, but I want you to think about your current environment. Are you anticipating all of their needs? They never actually have to ask for anything because you give them all the food, all the plates, all the toys. Their water cup is full. They have their silverware. You put their bib on them. You pick them up, put them in their chair, push them up. You get their coat and their shoes and everything on them. And they're just kind of hanging out. They're just along for the ride. Are you holding up items? This, right? The guessing game that we do, because, oh my gosh, I don't know how to help you. So I'm just going to hold up all the things until you say yes. And that is a strategy. However, we're not building language. I'm just saying this, that, right? And they answer yes or no. I ask them questions all day that they can just simply answer yes or no to. Because we're kind of surviving. That's what happens when you have a late talker and you don't know how to help them and you're trying, but we just end up kind of surviving. I just need to get through today because you're just screaming at me all day. Okay? You've all been there. If you've got a late talker, whether you have gone to school for this or not, you have days where they just scream at you all day. Okay? You're talking more than you're listening. So your sentences are very long. You're just inputting all day. You're asking all these questions, but you're not allowing a ton of quiet space for your child to respond. You might be rephrasing your questions. You might be asking them in a different way, but there's not a whole lot of quiet space, okay? The other thing that I see happen often that doesn't help is when we see behavior strictly as behavior. We don't see behavior as communication. We don't see it as the child needing help and struggling. We just see it as 2-year-old, you're having a tantrum and I need to extinguish that tantrum. I need to punish you accordingly so that you will stop having a tantrum. Okay? Again, if you've done all these things, if this is exactly what your environment looks like, I'm here to help you. There is no shame, okay? Take a big deep breath. It'll be okay, okay? So what we're going to do instead, when we think about that environment, when we think about that space, we are going to create habits and routines. Working on speech at home with your little tiny speech delayed human, okay, or at risk human, okay, is all about habits and routines. It's about grace. It's about joy. If you're all miserable, then we're doing it wrong, okay? So here are some ideas for you. And you likely aren't going to be able to do all of these at once, but I want you to think about one of these things that you could change, that you could do different today, tomorrow, and just start with that one tiny thing. If we think about habits and we think about routines, when we're building a new habit, we're setting reminders on our phones, we're asking other people outside for support. We know it takes like 60 days. We know we're going to mess it up and have to start over. All of that also applies here, okay? So let's think about naming items instead of saying this, that, this, that. So if you're used to holding up items and saying this, that, what do you want? Right? Instead, I want you to use the name of that item. Water, juice, blue cup, red cup, chocolate, marshmallow, whatever it is that you're offering, right? You want to use the name of that item. What this does is it allows the child to hear the name of the thing that they want, okay? I'm not asking you to say it. I'm not demanding you say it at all. I'm just allowing you to hear the name of the item. A child requires to hear an item's description or name like 500 times before they use that word. So if we're using this, that, there, those are the words they're going to use. But if I use water, juice, and they point to water, and I'm going to say, yes, you want water, water, and I give them water, then maybe down the road, instead of this, that, pointing, yelling, grunting, they say water because they've heard it 500 times, okay? So you're going to use the name of the item instead of saying this, that, or there. Another tiny step you can do is you can see behavior as I need help. I am struggling in some way. My bucket is empty and I need help. Sometimes if you can just sit with that tiny human and you can breathe with them and you can acknowledge, buddy, I'm so sorry. I don't understand. You want something and I don't understand. That's so frustrating. How can I help you? Can you show me? Can you take me there? Can you point? Can I lift you up? Can you reach to it? Can you tell me something else? The more they can give you, the better. Can they act it out? Can they draw you a picture? Can they show it to you in a book? However they can help you understand is allowed. It's encouraged. Verbal speech is not the gold standard and only thing that is allowed. Let them help you in other ways and give them the space to be able to do that, okay? They need your help. They don't need punishment 99% of the time, okay? Behavior is communication. What are they trying to tell you, okay? Tiny human life is hard. Nobody understands you. Most of the time you don't get what you want because that's just how it is and people are always rushing you, right? Their buckets are chronically empty. Okay, kind of piggybacking off that, if you know what they want, this might sound a little harsh, but stop asking stupid questions, okay? This is something that I've experienced as a grown human when another grown human asks me a question and I would be like, you already know the answer to that. Why are you asking me that question? Okay. It's the same with our little humans. I know that you want this thing. I'm just going to tell you instead of like, say water, tell me water. What do you want? You can't have it till you tell me the thing. If it was easy for them to tell you, they would. So they're having a meltdown. They're upset or they want something. Just say, you want water? I'll get you water, and just get the thing for them. Or if they can't get the lid off something, you can give them space to be able to ask you for help or for support or open or whatever if you're working on something like that. But don't let them get upset. You've lost it then. Now they're just angry and frustrated, and they don't want to use their words because they're mad. So before it gets there, instead of asking them, right, just, you need help. I can help you, and give them help. So think about the question you're asking. Is it really necessary, or is it just taking up space? It's just taking a bandwidth inside of their tiny little brains. Okay. This is my, like, toddlers give you the eye rolls, right? When you're just asking yes or no questions, and it allows them just to answer yes or no questions all day. And they just kind of eye roll at you like, that was the weirdest question. Okay. The other step that you can take is giving them tiny pieces. So instead of anticipating all of those needs, they're standing by their high chair, and you're just going to wait, right? You need up, and I will help them up. Okay. I've given them this much water instead of filling their whole cup with water. Now they're out of water, and they're shaking their cup at me. Water. You need more water. It opens up all these opportunities for them to be able to ask for water, to ask for more food, to ask for help. I forget to give them silverware, and they sit down at the table and they're like, dude, oh my goodness, what did I forget? It gives them a chance to be able to ask for those things because they don't have all the parts. They don't have all the pieces. So what could you leave out? If you're playing a game, what pieces could you hide in your lap or hide behind you? So they start to look for it, and you can say, oh, what are we missing? I need something. What do I need? And you can kind of play that game and be silly. It's not withholding. It's not making them upset. It's making it fun and silly and exciting. Okay? I also want you to be mindful when they're doing these things, if they ignore you, if they scream at you, if they're grabbing from your hands, don't punish. Okay? Behavior is communication. They have probably developed a habit of screaming when they need something, of just grabbing things when they need it, or ignoring you because it's all too hard. If they're doing those things, it's not to make your life harder. It's not because they want to be spicy, okay? It's because that is the habit that they have built. So when they grab or they scream or they ignore you, give them what they could say. You want fork. Here's a fork, and you give it to them. You solve that problem for them, and you show them, dude, you don't have to scream at me. I'm right here. You want a fork? I hear you. Here it is. Fork. And you just tell them, this is what you could say. It might take some time. It might take a little while. If we think about habits again, and it takes them 60 days to realize they could use that word instead of screaming, it might take that long, especially if it's been 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years of them screaming or grabbing. It's going to take more than an afternoon for them to use words instead of those actions or those behaviors, okay? I want you to always respond with love. I want you to always think about, how could I support them in this moment? What could they say? And you model what that thing could be. Okay, this isn't demanding. This isn't forcing them to say something. Anytime somebody forces me to do something, I'm like, peace out. I'm gonna do it my way. Okay, and they're 2, they're already spicy, or 3, or whatever. They're little, like they're just born spicy. So it's like throwing, I don't know, salt on a wound. That doesn't make sense. Some sort of example, right? Jalapenos on my like spicy food. Like, it's just making it worse. Okay, so I hope that helps you. If you have any questions, if there is a routine or an activity that you can't figure out how to start those baby steps forward, just ask. I have tons of ideas. this routine, this time of day, this activity, this object really struggling, just ask. I can absolutely help. So comment below if you need a little support. Otherwise, follow along here for more ideas and suggestions for things that you can do at home to help your little human. And I hope you found that helpful. Let me know if I can do anything else for you.